Happy Friday, scrap masters, quilt makers, friends, and family. Are you ready for week 3 of our new Stardust Scrap Masters version? I certainly am. Let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. Like I said, happy Friday. My name is Rob Appell. This is So Well, and the show we call Scrap Masters. What's a Scrap Masters? A Scrap Masters is, well, probably all of us, hopefully. But it's my way of working through that time in my sewing space when I don't really know what to do. So we've got a series of dice. We've got a color wheel, a free pattern over on robappell.com. Talk more about that, but it's right on the homepage, folks. The quilt behind me you see right here is a super cool version, a Scrap Masters quilt where I've used black as the common fabric, like we're doing right now in the Stardust version. This Scrap Masters quilt here is the original, the OG, and this was made with all parts and pieces, scrappy, working from my golden tray of treasure. That's right, just the key to this is curating our scraps into a palette that looks lovely together, and then I've also cut them into 3-inch squares. If you're brand new, welcome again. Please consider chatting along, letting us know who you are, where you're from. This is what we consider a premiere on YouTube, which means if it's Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, it's a live version where all of us are over in the wonderful chat box enjoying the company. And today's theme is opportunities. Talk a little bit more about that throughout today, but let's think about converting those opportunities into blessings and how we can bless others, especially with our quilt making. I feel super blessed this week because, again, the website's been a huge hit, mostly probably because of what happened over Houston Internationals opened up. We'll talk about that. Oh, so many things to talk about. Sisters, so many things to talk about. If you want your own color wheel and dice set and a copy of the pattern, you may you may purchase that over on robappell.com. I would be honored. There's also shirts available and all kinds of amazing other patterns, and so that's all there for you. Like I said, the free pattern download is on robappell.com. I moved it right to the homepage. Folks that have been playing with or heard of series 1 and 2, don't worry about it. Let's just all work right now from this, and your responsibility is to print out the 12 different blocks, find your favorite 6 and number them 1 through 6 so that we can then assign the random block with our 6-sided die this week. The last few weeks, I have already assigned myself a few of the pattern numbers so that I could go ahead and teach you all the new blocks I've created. So this is what I'll work on today. I'm not sure what number it is, and this will make it fun for us. All right, so to keep things slightly under control, let's go ahead and bring the box in here and get ourselves started. What will I number my block today, and which blocks will you all be working on? And it's super fun. You can post them on the Facebook group, So Well Rob Appell. And this is great now because we're all technically working on different blocks, but on the same color families and the same number of fabrics to make it scrappy. So anyways, I'm super pumped on all you. Thank you for doing this with me. Okay, here we go. What number is my block? What number block are you all working on? Ooh, block 3. Block 3, I'm calling it. Here we go. That's my block 3. Whatever block 3 you have, go ahead and set it aside. Which color shall we use today? Woo! Orange it is. Block 3 in orange. How many different fabrics can we use from our tray of treasure? Little hint, if it's a low number, don't count your background. If you're a background quilter this round. Here we go. Woo! Almost missed it. Sorry about the spike on the mic. 16. This is going to be fantastic. So that's right. We are working from block 3 in orange, 16 fabrics. And now you'll notice here that I've broken down what requirements are necessary for our subunits in our squares and our half square triangles. I like to count out the half square triangles first because with these 3-inch squares, I'm going to get 2 half square triangles for every setup. So right now, let's go ahead and pick our fabrics looking at orange as our primary, and I don't have a ton of orange. As a matter of fact, I have one orange square. That's okay, because what I'll do is I'll go ahead and push orange into the gold right now. That maybe 2 orange squares. And I've got so many different fabric sets, that's okay to play with right now. And then, so this is actually already, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fabrics. And I think that could almost work. Maybe I'll drop in this really cool hippie floral. There we go. Okay. Now, what I really want to consider is what can I do if I use this orange family? And I'm actually going to kind of shift it myself over to this yellow orange, because you can see I'm really cheating more to that yellow orange gold side. But again, this is just how I learn how to do it. And then as I pull across, I can see that I can either use my red, violet, and my blue greens, some of my favorites, right? And or a violet and a blue. So I'm going to go to what we consider the triad today: yellow, orange, red, violet, and blue, green, as I make the rest of my color combos. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that gives me 8 more fabrics to choose from. And I don't have a ton in that red, violet, so let's pull these out. I say I don't have a ton with everything because that's pretty much where we're down to with my scraps. There's 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to cheat a little into this bluer red violet there. Okay. And then the other side I said was my blue greens, which I love, these emeralds. Oh, this is going to be fabulous. Okay, and now what do I have across the table here? So I don't have a lot of what I have, but I do technically have 16 fabrics now on the table. Let me see what I can make work to follow our count. I might have to do a little finagling and stretching, but that's okay because we only have one rule, and that is there are no rules, because we're just learning how to manage our colors, manage our fabrics, and have fun with our quilting. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that, folks. So let's just make sure we go ahead and take this one step at a time. Now, I'm going to designate the white spaces in my pattern now as the orange. I'm going to designate the gray spaces as my blue greens, and I'm going to designate these black spaces in the pattern now as my red violets. Hoping that makes sense. And now, if you remember the last 2 weeks, we talked about really using only 2 color families against our Stardust fabric. But what I want to try to do this week now is I'm going to push myself. I'm going to try to split the block even more color-wise just for the fun of it. And I'm actually going to make both these color families the black on the pattern. I'll make these color families the gray on the pattern, and I'll make my Stardust the white on the pattern. Let's see what I can do with that. These here are already cut down to 2.5 inches, so I'll set that aside, and we'll run that into this as well, okay? And now we just want a spattering, just a sampling, and let's go ahead and first make 12 setups. So, excuse me, that's 6 setups for 12 yield of our half square triangles with our white and now our designated gray fabrics. Okay, so I need 6. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got a cool variety there. Now I'll pair those up. Now we want to go ahead and look for our white and our black spaces. And again, we need 12, so let's yield 6. And I want, again, variety. So as you learn to read your pattern as white, gray, black, you can do more and more fun color choices or changes, which really helps you when you have a limited amount of fabric individual pieces, right? So we have more choices. That scrap was never cut down. It won't matter because we're just making half square triangles, and they're all going to be trimmed down to 2.5 inches here in a second. One more combo to make, which is our black and gray families together, which was technically this from the gray. And I'm going to go high contrast here and use this from the black. And now, with my edge guide moved out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and follow this line edge to edge, corner to corner, and chain piece all of these half square triangles. You'll notice this one here, again, I'm just going to go edge to edge, watching my diagonal strip on that mark there. All works just no problem. Taking that opportunity to make those scraps into a quilt, such a blessing. And I do want to go ahead and start in today, folks, on our grateful list. So to our new viewers, again, thank you for being here. Please consider subscribing, consider joining our Facebook group, because it's a wonderful, safe community where we really just celebrate the joy of life in quilting. And for me, I'm super wound up, as usual, not even just caffeinated, but just hyper on opportunities. And that is, folks, the Houston International Quilt Festival, the classes. And yes, I am teaching. This is my first year. This is my premier year as an instructor, and I'm super, super excited. 3 days of classes, and those have just gone online on the Houston website. So at any rate, or quilts.com. And so you may sign up. Please consider taking one of my workshops. The kit fee includes the pattern and or template you need. So if you're getting ready to order that, please just leave in the memo right now that that's what I'm sending you in advance. That way I can mark you off on the kit fee. That's super easy, and I am pumped up. Now, we were talking about doing a Scrap Masters display in Houston. I had my 2.5. One's not quilted yet. I can see it staring at me from the long arm over there. I wanted to do a special exhibit for Scrap Masters, and I was super behind schedule. So again, to the administration folks there in Houston, thank you so much for even considering my application. I know you had to open up the porthole so I could even apply late. So super late. And I didn't have many quilts to show for it, just my 1.5 at that moment. So here's the deal, folks. We've got to step up. We want to load that rocket ship so we can go completely to the moon and back from Houston. This is going to be amazing. So let's shoot for Houston 2027, displaying our Scrap Masters quilt. So now it is time to really get part of the community, be part of that Facebook group, and let's start finishing out those quilts we made from Series 1 and Series 2, please. Send the photos in. Send me an email, rob@robappell.com, and I will start to log who is willing to have a quilt on display, who's willing, right, to have a quilt on display at Houston International Quilt Festival as part of our community of quilts, our Scrap Masters quilt. So that is super, super cool if you ask me, and that is obviously number one on the grateful list. Houston classes, Houston opportunities, and we will not give up on getting our Scrap Masters display. Okay, quick lesson plan. If you've never seen this, I'm going to just rotate my whole sausage of fabric squares here right now, and I'm going to then chain piece down the other side without even separating them anymore. It just really helps me stay super organized. Now I'm watching that same imaginary line, but I also have the thread to run parallel to my foot. Makes life so easy. So, number 2 on the grateful list is I'm working right now on the recap from the awesome Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show annual 51st year. It was incredible. All the volunteers, roughly 300 of them, are going to come out and start hanging the rest of the town, covering the buildings, the lines, all the eaves with these amazing quilts. It's really cool to watch. So they'll start in different sections with different volunteer groups, and they'll start putting them all up as the show goes up. And remember, all of it for just one day. I got some super fun rolling footage on my little penny skateboard, and people were enjoying watching me skateboarding, looking and narrating quilts. And you know me, that's just me having a great time. Such a blessing to be back in Sisters as just a quilt maker. And next year, I hope to get to be on the staff up there as well. So look forward to seeing those come out. I think the registrations come out in like January for the Sisters classes. So anyways, really excited to be considering going that again. That's going to be amazing. And then last but not least, of course, on the grateful list, number 3, as well as an update on the New Year's Day Mystery Quilt Along. Yes, Tiffany Hayes and I are doing it right here on my YouTube channel, So Well Rob Appell. And we are super excited to have the community support. You all are incredible, incredible out there. Boom, fireworks, that's right. Thank you very much. Kits at the moment are sold out. We have sold over 100 kits between Tiffany and I. And because it's just the two of us doing it this year, yes, we have a tech team that will come in, my son and daughter-in-law, but they're great, I promise. So that I don't have to try to do it. If you've watched years ago when I jumped on the struggle bus and tried to do way too much myself, right? I'm gonna separate these while we chat. But nonetheless, yes, Tiffany and I will be filming right here in California in my home studio. It's going to be a fantastic day, New Year's Day Mystery Quilt Along. And like I said, our kits will be starting to ship about November 1st is our goal. We're waiting for delivery on Tiffany's beautiful batiks. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that pre-ordered yours, all of you that have put in donations, that have bought the ridiculously overpriced sticker packets, the t-shirts, there's the Carefree Quilter shirts. Maybe I'll wear that next week because mine just came in on delivery. Super, super fun. And I'm just feeling so good about all of this. And so thank you. Now, part of it is we're still waiting for confirmation. We don't want to oversell those kits. You'll have plenty of time to do all of your homework, all of the clues. But Tiffany and I are being a little cautious. So we've got to make sure that we have a true inventory count on what is shipping in so that we can make sure that we have the kits accounted for and everything. So at the moment, and at least for the next 30 days, until at least probably late August, we're going to say that the kits are all sold out. I believe mine are completely sold out as well. Because they're based on some of the early productions of my Fabrics Newer and Newest Worlds, and those are now limited edition also at Benartex. So at any rate, that's what happens in the fabric world. We move on, and we also learn how to use our scraps beneficially. Oh, and that was a sweet segue, Rob. So here what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my straight edge, and I'm just slicing through the squares that I've cut parallel to those sewing edges, right? Sewing lines, and we're now yielding out the 2 half square triangles, and these still need to be trimmed down. Use your favorite method. I like the slotted trimmer myself. Then we'll press them, organize them, and get to designing here in a second. Okay, let's use this funky one for an example of how cool the slotted trimmer works. I'm going to flip it over. Hopefully you can see the threads. I'm going to take my 2.5 inch guideline marker, lay it right over, and then because I'm watching the gray edges because of the off-sizing, you should be able to see when I trip that over. Perfect. And now I'm going to just manually dog ear. Even though, hey, did you check out my new glasses? They're a little bit lighter weight. They've got the hint of my favorite color. If you know my favorite color, put it in the comments today. That's right. No prizes necessary. Now you can see the same concept, but with the sloppy edges up. Trimming those off, okay? And we're going to do that to the whole stack first. Then when I come to the iron, I'm going to always press now to the darker of the 2 fabrics, especially because I'm using this gray-based Stardust from Tula Pink. And it was a great fabric choice selection from you out there. Thank you so much for encouraging me to utilize that. That was fun when I went shopping. Now, I'll organize those, put those aside, come back, and I also need to go ahead and cut down my square. So I need to make 8 from my white family, which I've already done here in advance, right? I need 1 from what was going to be my gray family. So that looks like that's actually done as well. And I only need 1 from my black family. So that's already all preset. That was real easy today. So as soon as these are ironed out, we can get to designing. As a reminder, I am pushing myself. I really feel like the challenge in my colors this week. So I've taken my black version here, what you're seeing, my black reading pieces, and I've split them into the two colors. I'm going to call it basically purple and blue, for lack of a better term at the moment. And then I'll be using my golds as my medium. So let's see how we do here. I like to start in the middle, and I'm going to need one of each of these here. So I'm going to have a dark and a medium. And I'm going to set myself up for webbed piecing, so I'm working close to my machine today. And then I'll also need my other two here where I had my dark and my medium and my dark and my medium here to just kind of form this square. This alone could make things a little bit interesting, and therefore I might choose to trade this square out for a blue family as well. Now, as I follow this, I'm going to go to my white and blacks first. And on this side, I want to go ahead and make more of the purple versions. So that means I'm going to start by laying out different fabrics. Oh, I think I can quickly see what's going to happen here. What I want to do is I want to be able to get more of this purple on this side. See how it's going to form out a little more on this side here, and I'm going to be able to separate because one side of this is going to need to be blue reading, I believe. I also save these two here. I can bring these out over on this side eventually and make this. I might start like that. Lots of choices. My brain's just going to ramble around a little bit, as you can hear the gears turning up there. Look for your triangles of like fabrics today. Help yourself. That way you can see these pieces, making it a little easier to assemble. So a blue triangle, a purple triangle, the gray triangles. Now I'll start to integrate in the ones with the golds. Should be easier. I have more of them. So easier to create that variety of different fabrics for that extra scrappy look. Oh yeah, that's going to have a really cool read on it, I believe. Now I'll go ahead and take a moment and drop in the squares that represent my white fabrics. Maybe you're using background fabric. Maybe you're using a variety of different fabrics like I did in the first version. I still absolutely love the multicolor scrappy. I just like to push myself with each quilt I make. Oh yes, fantastic. Now, technically, I could swap these and these here, and then I would have a very gold-sided and then blue-purple-sided, but I really like the way this looks right now. I think this is a lot of fun. I like the different pop in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start building these. And now what we need to do is for our chain piece or our webbed chain piecing, I just put up a new video on that. Please check it out here. So I've got both my tutorials and these fun Friday videos, and I'm going to start doing more travel vlog again. But I'm locking in my 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to start now. Let's call these columns, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to take column 2. I'm going to lay it on top of column 1, and I'm going to chain piece all the way down with cutting no threads. I know that's what chain piecing means. Needle down helps a lot. Now here's the basics of that webbing style chain piecing, and the benefits are saved thread, saved organization when you learn how to work through it on the table. So I'm going to cut my thread here, but I'm just going to slide everything down. I'm going to open my work this way, and I'm going to grab this outer edge of column 3 so that as I bring it over, I've automatically matched up the right edges. And I am, like I said, not going to cut threads. I'm not going to iron until everything is built. Continue just to grab piece after piece as you work your way down the column. And when we finish out this column, we'll go on to the next column, doing the exact same thing until we're completely done with everything we see on the table in columns. Starting column 4. So as we have come to the end of all of that first row of column chain piecing, I'm going to shake it out on the table, give myself a quick visual and make sure that all of my triangles are facing the correct direction and everything. Then I'm going to rotate it really so they become columns all over again. Still not ironing. I'm going to lay them on top of each other. I'm going to finger massage them so that the seams lay in crisscross order. We call that nesting. And I'm going to just basically make sure that each one faces the same direction per column. So right now we're going to come on down and I'm looking at this upper seam and it's facing towards me. So I will encourage all of the seams in this sewing to face me. So this will just help things stay very easily organized and efficient for ironing all at the end. Keeping our points crisp, everything a good quilter should be considering. Not necessarily doing, but maybe considering. Don't worry, folks, don't give up on me. I haven't lost my carefreeness yet. I just want to make sure the new folks knew what they're doing. Okay, now this for me is when I get it all messed up and tangled up. So just take a second, move it over, make sure nothing else is caught up in it. And now this seam will be facing up. So again, just a good start on that upper corner. Massage the first series of seams together. Now I will come down here, consider the next. When I get down to the last two columns, I'm actually going to flip everything over to just keep track so that I don't have to do any unsewing and make sure that everything gets unpacked, is tidy, and then these parts can lay on top of this larger piece. Now check my seams and begin again. Once all of our little units are connected, now we're going to press the heck out of it. And I've got my iron nice and hot. I've got steam in the iron. And I'm going to work one seam at a time, just slowly manipulating. And then as it comes over and starts to lay flat, now I'm going to hit it with a bit of heat. Send it in all four directions, like yay. And then remember that fabric has got a memory, right? So it's going to want to rest and be in the place it was last in cool. So if I let this cool now on the board before pulling it right up and running back to my machine or whatnot, I'll get a much nicer setting of my seams. So that's all about the time it takes. You can see now here is our awesome block for this week. Week 3, fun enough. Version 3, even cooler, we're calling it Stardust, but it was block 3 in orange, 16 fabrics. And please, folks, make sure you're posting over on our Facebook group, So Well, Rob Appell, all of your amazing creations that you're coming up with now as you're doing the awesome Scrap Masters version 3 with me. I'm so blessed to have all of you following along. Make sure you have an incredibly creative weekend. Until I see you again, please stay well.